What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Pastor Coco, the Subpar Summoner, coming to you with a new video. I wanted to talk a little bit about the news that we got this week. First, I want to shout out to JAX. You might see at the end of my Season 36 War videos, my new logo with the Subpar Summoner and the Psycho Man inspired control box. And my buddy Imagine Jim took that art and made this for me so I could have a more Twitter profile pic friendly version of that logo. So love both of those dudes. Wanted to shout them out real quick. So we got a big news drop this week, and I wanted to make a video the day that the news dropped, but I didn't get a chance to. So now it's Friday night, pretty late, and the rest of the family's in bed, so I thought I would make something. So we got some big news this week, so let's jump right into it. The future of power progression in MCOC. If you are a person who is online and plays this game and follows any of the news or any of the Twitter people or anything, then you have already heard about this. There's been lots of belly aching about it, lots of hubbub about it. So let's jump right into it. So there's three major things we got going on here. We have Relics, 7 stars, and Ascension. So Relics are going to be something that can alter your champions and customize your champions in some way. 7 stars are, of course, the new champion rarity, and then Ascension is a new thing that they're bringing in that is going to basically prolong the usability of the lower rarities as we move into 7 stars. So let's talk about Relics first. So over the last several months, we've had side quests where we had strikers, and there was talk about how probably more than likely strikers will be implemented with the Relic system in some way. And so that's the way that they're going to be coming into the game first, is through something called a battle cast, which is going to enable you to have a striker. I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed the striker system. Once they finagled a little bit with the button placement and the button size, I really like strikers. I think it's really cool. I'm a big fan of Marvel vs. Capcom and Tekken Tag and those fighters where you have multiple fighters where you can tag somebody in. This gives me that feeling, so I'm really excited about this. And so I was reading through. They gave us a sample version of what this might look like. So the Battlecast gives you a striker, and then the Relic also has these other abilities, and so it can increase attributes, it can give other abilities, it can grant certain things, and so they're class specific, it sounds like, and there might even be some champ specific ones possibly, and of course, some champions might benefit more than others. The striker part, obviously everyone's going to be able to benefit from a striker, but and then there's going to be unbinding cost. It'll be free for the first several times, and then basically they put in a system where you can't just frequently just swap them back and forth, but it seems very reasonable. There's no cost until you get several steps into unbinding, and then I think it says right here, every 5 days that cost is reduced by 1. So as long as you're leaving it on there for a while and you're not just trying to switch it constantly, it sounds pretty reasonable to me. So the Venom Battlecast is the one that they give an instance to. So the striker gives a bleed vulnerability and increases the potency of future bleed effects. And then the innate ability is Symbiotic Bond. For each unique buff, inflict an indefinite bleed vulnerability, increasing the potency of future bleed effects. And then bleed debuffs inflicted against bleeding opponents gain duration and ability accuracy. Hits landing against bleeding opponents gain critical damage rating and critical rating. Fury, Precision, and Cruelty buff potency, Bleed Death debuff potency, and Mutation, and Cooking Meter charge timer. So obviously this one can only be attached to Cosmic Champs, and as somebody who has a rank 2 Venom pool, as I was reading through those abilities and stuff, all I kept thinking was, man, that sounds like it would make Venom pool even better. But they mentioned that, Venom and Carnage would benefit from that too. And so, yeah, it definitely sounds like Venom and Carnage and Venompool would definitely benefit from those things. So I'm super stoked about this. I got to be honest. I've really been enjoying Venompool, and it just sounds like that Venom Striker would make him an even more powerful champ. And so, it's pretty neat. Here's the thing that I am not really that stoked about, but at the same time, I'm not somebody who's in this race. Your relics are going to factor into your prestige now. I'm not a prestige chaser. As somebody who plays in a casually competitive alliance and is not trying to chase that top spot or anything, I don't worry about prestige. I am the summoner who has championed from the very beginning to rank who you love and rank who you love to play. And so I'm not about prestige battles and prestige races and racing to get the highest prestige possible and get into those top tier alliances. So for the people that are, I understand why that might be frustrating, but to be honest, if you're already in those things, you're going to be the kind of person that's going to be doing what you can to get the best relics to get the top prestige anyway. So at the first, when these first launch, obviously the CCP is going to get them first, which is the way a lot of stuff goes. And they're not going to be available in all game modes, but they are going to be available in most things. So they'll be available in arenas, battlegrounds, incursions, EQ, side quests, Realm of Legends, and Labyrinth of Legends, but they will not be available in alliance events, Abyss, Story Quest, or the back issues, which is the old Story Quest. So, they're going to go through a balance system. So it sounds like J-Nick is going to be looking at the balance of those as well, just like he is the champs. So that'll be interesting. So coming up in real soon, actually, by the time you're watching this, it'll be close to the time that the preview period will be starting. I think it's going to be in October. So I think tomorrow, as I'm recording, is the 1st. So I'm probably going to drop this video on the 1st if I can get it done. So the period will start probably either as you're watching this or shortly after. We got a couple of days till the new EQ drops. So we will be looking forward to the videos once that embargo drops, and I'm sure the CCP members will have a lot of cool content showing us all about relics. So, all right, let's jump into the more controversial announcement. And quite honestly, for me, I don't really understand the amount of negativity that has come out about this, mostly because I feel like it's a little naive to have thought that this wasn't coming. We had 4 stars, and then there were 5 stars, and then eventually we got 6 stars. So honestly, just the next logical progression was 7 stars. So I feel like it was a little naive to think we weren't going to get 7 stars at some point in time. If you think that it's too soon, that's a valid opinion to have. The problem that I have is that there has been multiple times this week that I got called a moron and an idiot for not being against the release of 7 stars. And that's not cool. If you think it's too early, that's fine. That's a valid opinion. If you think that they shouldn't be doing this yet, you are allowed to have your opinions about the game. Of course, I have mine. I've got my own channel to do it. You can air those opinions however you want to. But when you're calling other people stupid and saying that they're corporate shills and all these other things that get said because they're not negative about these things, I have a real problem with that. And so, and also I don't know that it is too early. We got 6 stars before there were rank 5 stars. And so, the fact that we're just now getting rank 4 6 stars, and they're going to be introducing 7 stars in like 6 months or whatever, if they get released on time, that doesn't bother me that much. And so the time frame right now is spring of 2023, so we're still 6-7 months away. if they release on time. We don't even have a guarantee that that will happen. At one point in time, they said bases are coming soon, and that never happened, unless you count the ones in Transformers, which is a completely different game. So, we don't know what the time frame will be. That doesn't mean they're going to launch next year at the time that they think they're going to. That's the plan, but it wouldn't be the first time that something, doesn't launch when they thought it would. But so the way 7 stars are going to happen, it's pretty neat. There's going to be another new mechanic. So, with 5 stars, we got the special bar with the quick time action that you could increase your damage. And then with 6 stars, we got the adrenaline system. So 7 stars are going to have some kind of system like that. So that'll be neat to see what that is. And then, they're going to appear as opponents in content in November, but they're not going to be available to collect until the spring at the earliest. But an exciting thing is that in November, starting in November, they're going to start having 7-star shards when you dupe a 6-star champ. And so, several months before the 7 stars are actually available to get, we'll be able to start building that 7-star shard collection. So I think that's pretty neat, that if you dupe a 6-star, you'll be getting 7-star shards. I saw one valid criticism, and it was a good point. They haven't said anything about doing this, but I think that especially with moving to another level of rarity, that they really probably should address the amount of ISO you get from duping higher star champions, because 5 and 6-star dupes give the same amount of ISO as 4-star dupes still, and that's a valid criticism, and I'm not saying that people are wrong to think that probably does need to be addressed, because it does take a lot of ISO to rank up and level up 6-star champs, and I'm sure 7-star champs will be similar. So, people's thoughts about 7 stars are what they are. This, though, is the thing that I was super excited to hear about, the Ascension System. And so, basically, I see this as kind of similar to Red Stars in Marvel Strike Force, if anybody's ever played that. If you haven't, so in Marvel Strike Force, there is, I think the max star level is 7 stars. But instead of going to 8 stars, once they got done with having 7 stars, what they did is they added something called Red Stars. And so you can gain Red Stars for a champion. And what Red Stars do is basically just increase stats, increase their power, their base level, or whatever. So you can get rarity of a champion 1 through 7 star in Marvel Strike Force, and then you can get Red Stars, and you can get up to 7 Red Stars, which makes them, insanely more powerful than if they're not Red Star. And so it sounds like to me that this Ascension system is going to work similarly. So once you have your 4 through 6 stars at rank 5, you're going to be able to basically rank them up again. They called it a limit break rank up. That basically will enable you to let your 6 stars be comparable to 7 stars while you're trying to build up your 7-star roster. And so I think this is really a neat thing that they're doing, because the main criticism I've seen about 7 stars is that, well, we've been going through this grind and building up our roster and getting all these champs, and now we got to start all over again. Well, I think it's important to note and realize that Kabam understands that might be a frustrating thing, and so they're trying to introduce ways and systems to make it where that is not such of a downer to try and grab your favorite champs again. They're trying to make it where just because the new 7 stars are now in the game doesn't mean that your other champions are obsolete. And I think that it's naive to pretend that it's been the case, because obviously a lot of us can still do stuff with 5 stars. People like MSD and Suida, they're clearing ridiculous content with 2 stars. So it's not like, they're not forcing us to have all of our champions in 7-star rarity in order to progress in the game, in order to play the game. And I'm super excited about this Ascension system. I think it's really neat. They basically here at the end they talked about why they're bringing all these systems at the same time. If you disagree with that, that's fine. My thing is, and here I'll let you look at my beautiful logo while we talk about this. I think that the important thing that we need to remember is that this game is free. Okay, this is a completely free game. The game has been going for years now, and it's still completely free. You can play this game without ever spending a dime. And I see people say, well, if you think you could be completely and totally competitive at the top of the game without spending money, then you're an idiot. I didn't say that. But guess what? This is a game. And if you care that much about being that competitive in this game, then yeah, you might have to spend some money. But guess what? You don't have to do that to enjoy this game and have a blast in this game. I do spend some money sometime. I've got some money set aside in our budget every month that I can spend on the game if I want to, or I can go spend it on something else. And the fun thing is, it doesn't matter which one I do because I still enjoy playing this game. I can enjoy the game for what it is. It's an amazing fighting game. This is one of the best game engines I have ever played. And I know everybody is mad that there's been input issues and all that stuff, and still stuff is going wrong. This is still, even with all the input issues we've had, one of the best controlling mobile games I've ever played. And I've tried to play other fighting games on my iPhone that I could not stand. I wanted to like Injustice so much. Could not stand it. Did not like the way that it controlled. Champions is amazing as far as how it controls. It's a testament to the game that they've made. And the reason they can make that game is because there's people that spend money. That's just the reality. And if you are one of those people that thinks, oh, they're just trying to get money out of us and suck money out of us, Marvel Champions is not that predatory about it. There are so many other games out there that are very, very heavy-handed with trying to get money out of you and requiring you to spend money. Like, I was talking about, I play Marvel Strike Force. I am completely free to play in Marvel Strike Force. But I am not competitive, and there's no way I'll ever be competitive because in Strike Force, free-to-play cannot be competitive. Like, if you're not spending to get the newest champs and to power them up as soon as you get them, you're going to fall way behind the meta. And, Brian Grant was able to stay in one of the best alliances in the game and be a competitive player as a completely free-to-play player for a long time. And honestly, I know that Brian decided to step away because he felt like he was hurting the alliance. But I don't know that Brian had to. Like, Brian could have stayed competitive. Still, I really think he could have. Maybe he was slipping a little bit, but not so much that it was like gonna be impossible to do. That's a choice that Brian made, and he felt like he wasn't competitive enough anymore. And that's fine. But I enjoy the game because I enjoy the game. I enjoy the characters. The story is amazing. As I record, yesterday was Gabe's last day as the creative director. Gabriel Frazera has created this phenomenal narrative, this phenomenal story, this phenomenal journey that we've all been going on for so many years now. And it's because there are people that spend money on this game, that fund this game and make this game be able to be alive for the millions of others of us that don't have to spend money to enjoy the game. And so, closing thoughts, Relics sound really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they do besides the Battlecast. Some other options. It would be interesting to see, if it adds abilities or just like stat boost or whatever. But I don't think Relics is something that's going to be a negative. I think it's going to be a positive. I think it's going to allow there to be more RPG elements, which I really enjoy. And then, 7 stars, it is what it is. I can't wait to get 7-star Psycho Man. Looking forward to that. But, we're going to have 5 and 6 stars that we can use plenty moving forward. They're not going anywhere. We're going to be using them for a long while, just like we used 5 stars long after 6 stars came in. And so, that's what it is. And this Ascension system, I'm super stoked about that. I think it's really neat. I think it's a needed thing that they are putting into the game as kind of a bridge into the reality of 7 stars in the game. And so I'm looking forward to what the game has in the future, and we'll see, in 6 months or whatever, if 7 stars come into the game on the timetable that they're expecting, and we'll go from there. And those of you that are saying that you're quitting because 7 stars are coming to the game, Godspeed to you. If you really are quitting, then I hope you enjoyed your time in the game, and we hate to see you go. But those of us that are going to stick around and continue to enjoy this game, we're going to enjoy the game. And if you're one of those people that's upset about this, that's fine, but don't disparage other people because they don't have the same opinion as you, because at the end of the day, this is just a game, and I will go into this some more on Tuesday when I record the next Pastors Assemble with Sinister Minister. I'm sure we will discuss this in depth as well. So next week on that episode, you can hear us talk about that as well. So thanks for joining. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's tinyurl.com/subparsummoner. And I will catch you next time. So may all your pulls be subpar.